to study Robert Browning's poem Rabbi Ben Ezra. So first I tell you something about the poet. So Robert Browning was a Victorian poet and he is famous for his dramatic monologues. So what is a dramatic monologue? Dramatic monologue is a poem in which a speaker tells something about him, about his character. So it is a monologue, but it becomes dramatic when there is a listener also. So the speaker does not speak lonely. He is telling his views, his ideas, his views about all the world. He speaks all these things to a person. There is a listener. So the presence of a listener is very, very important in dramatic monologue. A monologue becomes dramatic when there is a listener. So Robert Browning wrote many famous dramatic monologues. My Last Duchess, Rabbi Ben Ezra, The Last Ride Together, The Bishop Orders His Tomb. So Robert Browning is very, very famous and he has made dramatic monologues, his masterpieces. So in this short video, we are going to study one of his best dramatic monologues, and that is Rabbi Ben Ezra. It is also called Rabbi Ben Ezra. Okay, so second quality of Robert Browning, one is this, that he is famous for his dramatic monologues, and second quality of Robert Browning is he is a very optimistic person. He was a very optimistic poet. He was famous for his optimism. So in his poems, we see an abundance, optimism. When we study his poems, we also get optimistic about life. Okay, he never shows pessimism. He never put us in despair. Okay, so let's start studying this Rabbi Ben Ezra. Rabbi Ben Ezra is a very long poem, in fact, but in this short video, we are going to study first paragraph only, because if we study the whole poem, it needs 1 hour. The first paragraph is very important, very famous. Opening lines are also very famous. Opening lines are, grow old along with me, the best is yet to be. So in this poem, Rabbi Ben Ezra, Rabbi is a learned person. Ben means son, and Ezra means, Ezra was a scholar, okay, 11th century scholar, Ezra. So his son was a very scholar person. He was called Rabbi, or we can say Rabbi. Okay, so in this poem, Rabbi Ben Ezra or Rabbi is simply telling us the benefits of old age. According to Robert Browning, or according to Rabbi in this poem, because Rabbi in this poem is the mouthpiece of Browning. Browning is actually expressing his philosophy, his views about old age. So Rabbi has become a mouthpiece here in this poem. So in this poem, Robert Browning, through Rabbi, tells us that old age is a golden period of life. We should not afraid of old age. We should not afraid of experiencing old life, old age life. Generally, people are afraid of old age. They don't want to get old. But in this poem, after reading this poem, we will certainly change our views about old age. So opening lines are very famous lines and very important lines of this poem, in which he shows that grow old along with me, the best is yet to be. That don't be afraid from old age. Grow old with me, and the best part of life is old age. That is yet to be, that is yet to come. If we have experienced childhood, we have experienced young age, now it is turn to face the old age also, and this is the best period of life according to Browning, not the worst period. In general perception, we see that many people regard old age as a bane, as a curse, because it brings so many difficulties, so many weakness, illness, etc. But according to Browning, this is not so. He says that old age is a golden period of life. It is the best part of our life, and we should enjoy old age. So these two lines are, grow old along with me, the best is yet to be, our masterpiece in English literature. Next is the last of life for which the first was made. So old age is the last part of our life, and for it the first part was made. So according to Browning, without experiencing old age, our life is incomplete, because the last part is a part of our life. Just as we enjoyed youth, we should enjoy old age also. So this is the last part of our life, and for this last part, the first was made. It means youth or childhood was made for the old age. Our times are in His hand. Now Browning comes to God. He says that all these parts of our life, like childhood, young age, and old age, are all in His hand. In His hand means in God's hand. We are merely puppet in His hand. We cannot do anything against the wish of God. Okay. So this was the plan of God for us, that first we will experience childhood, after that we will experience young age, and after that we will become old. So if we dislike old age, we are disregarding God. Who says a whole I planned? So God said that I planned for you a whole. A whole means a whole life, in which old age is also included. You should not discard it, you should not dislike it, you should not disrespect it. It is also a boon from God, old age. So the God has planned for us 3 stages or 4 stages, you may say. Youth shows but half. So if we have lived till young age, till youth, then our life is half. Our life is incomplete. youth is only half of the life. Our life completes itself when we become old, when we experience old age also. Trust God, see all, not be afraid. And this is the first stanza. The last line of first stanza is trust God. You should trust God. We should trust God. If there are any difficulties, then we should accept it as the willing of God. We should not disrespect God by not accepting what is going on in the life. Trust God, see all, not be afraid, and don't be afraid from old age. So this is the first stanza of Rabbi Ben Ezra, in which he is glorifying old age. If we study all the stanzas of the poem, then we will experience more about the benefits of old age and the views of Browning about the old age. So in this short video, the first stanza, we will study only first stanza, but I will recommend you to study this whole poem. You will certainly enjoy it, and you will also change your views about the old age.